Thanks for tuning in to the Disembodied Screams podcast. Those returning, thank you. Those new to this podcast, welcome. Now let's get started with another covers episode. This time we're diving into the 1980s Iron Maiden covers, looking at the Eddies on there and trying to figure out how horrific these dudes are on these covers, from least horrific to most horrific. My scale is 1 to 6. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood at number 1. Freddy's Nightmares at number 6. So these covers will fall somewhere in that range, from least horrific to most horrific. And a little disappointed my Cattle Decapitation cover rankings didn't do as well as it did. I thought it might do a little better. Being at my first Terracide episode for them did really well for me and for the small, just starting podcast. So if you have a chance to check that one out, go check it out. And let's go ahead and get into these covers. And I'm going to start with the least horrific on this one, Somewhere in Time from 1986. Eddie looks awesome with the gun up, the sci-fi theme, but there's not a lot of horror. This is more of a sci-fi cover. But you do have the hand reaching up from the earth on the side there. That's got Iron Maiden and Eddie Lives scribbled on the wall. And I know there's a lot of little Easter eggs in here if you look within this thing. So if you can figure out the Easter eggs in there, drop me a comment below and let me know the Easter eggs that you see in that one. And let's move on to the next one. We'll go from least horrific to most horrific. And the next is going to be Power Slave. Not a lot of horror in this one either. It's a badass cover, though. It's one of my favorite covers by them. That whole Egyptian theme just works so well. Eddie looks awesome sitting on that throne. He's got a great look to his face, and the Egyptian garb looks great on him. It just all looks really, really cool. That's a very cool album cover, but it's not very horrific at all. And then let's move on to the next one, which will be Peace of Mind, which is one of my favorite Eddies of all time, up there with the Trooper. I've always liked the Eddie in this one. It's not as much horror as the other ones from the 80s, but Eddie looks great. He's got these ripped up jeans, and he's battling in a straitjacket. He's in chains. He's got this evil look on his face. There's some blacks and there's some yellow. So it's a really, really cool looking cover, and some good horror vibes in that one. And then let's move on to the next one, which I guess will be the top 4. I recorded this a minute ago and left out Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I'm looking right at the freaking thing, and I still missed it. I don't know why. But I'm going to go with, this might be a little controversial. I don't know, but we will see. The Number of the Beast in this spot. I mean, Eddie looks badass as the entity standing over the devil. Eddie is so evil that he's even controlling the devil. He's got the puppet hands over the devil. He's got a little flame in his hands, which pops with a little bit of color, a little orange color. Got some flames on there, some blues, some blacks, some reds. You got the devil in very prominent red right up on front. So if you're walking through a record store in the 80s when this was out, that would stand out. You would see that red devil right off the bat. So yeah, that's a pretty badass album cover. I really like that one a lot. Probably scared a lot of parents back in the day. Probably still scaring a lot of parents. So I've got Somewhere in Time, Power Slave, Peace of Mind, The Number of the Beast. The next one after this, I'm going to go with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. That's an awesome album cover. Getting some really good horror vibes in it. Eddie looks very horrific in this one. I mean, he's just a torso. Torso with a head with stuff coming out of it, and he's holding something that looks very I don't know what it is. It's coming out from his, it's attached. There's like a intestine or something, or like a wire or something coming into this red thing. It's in his hand, and it looks, I don't know, looks kind of grotesque and squishy and red and moist, and yeah, there's a lot of blues, and there's a lot of yellows, and there's a lot of whites. What else is in here? Not really much else. You can kind of see an exposed spine and all. So it's a pretty horrific looking Eddie. Looks like his face has had some work done on it. Somebody's done some kind of surgery and added some parts to it. And of course, the flames up top his head. It's a very horrific looking album cover. That Eddie has always looked pretty horrific to me. And then let's move on to the next one. I guess this will be the final two if I got it right, because I have covered the other ones, right? Like I said before, I missed one. I want to make sure I didn't this time. And I'm going to go with my top two from before. Even when I put Seventh Son back into this list, these two still came out at top two. And I'm going to go with Iron Maiden, their debut album. Eddie is just a corpse in this one, and I love the look of it. This is a very zombified, dead, fresh from the grave. You can almost smell the rot coming off Eddie in this one. He's got the punk hairdo. There's some blacks, some grays, there's some yellows. It pops a lot that way too, but it's a very horrific looking Eddie. If this would have dropped in the record store shelves back in 1980, and you don't know who this new band is, this would have stood out to you a lot and probably scared a lot of parents in the process. But if you're looking at my shirt and you can see this, number one is Killers, because this Eddie is awesome. I'm trying not to say badass. I've said it a few times already, so I'm not going to say that again. Take a shot when I say it in this video, though. But Eddie just looks awesome in this one. There's a hand coming up, pulling on his shirt. Eddie is apparently just butchered because in his hand is an axe covered in blood. That stands out as horror. Eddie is even more corpsed up in this one, I think, than in the previous version of him from the first album. And there's some yellows, there's some blacks, there's all kinds of colors in this one. The title, Killers, it's got a little horror vibe to it. Even the apartment behind it's got some greens and reds. Kind of gives you some Dario Argento vibes like Suspiria. So yeah, very horrific for this one. So of the 1980s, I would put this, of their studio albums, I would put this at the top. I didn't even get into their concerts. So I could do a whole section on their concerts, which I might do eventually, because their concert covers are awesome too. I could put Live After Death as an honorable mention, which is one of the best Eddies of all time. Coming out of that grave with all the yellows and the light things shooting out here and there. And it's a really cool cover too. But that's my ranking for the 1980s Iron Maiden album covers. Up next are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the 1990s. And then I will do another list of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 from the 2000s onward. And then maybe eventually I will cover all the album covers as well. So hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button as hard as you can. If you're on YouTube, wherever you are, just find a way to give this podcast some love. Go check out some of my spooky song deep dives. I was a little disappointed Angel Maker's Haunter didn't do a little bit better. Didn't expect it to blow up. Nobody really probably knows who Angel Maker is. I just stumbled on them myself. But check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I might put that on the screen here. I might put on my cattle decapitations rankings here, so you can check out those as well. And maybe I'll put up a little thing here for where you can find this podcast on YouTube. So anyways, just find a way to give this podcast some love wherever you are. Like, comment, share, whatever. And if you want to rank these album covers based on their horrorness from the 1980s, do so. Comment below, Spotify, YouTube, or send me an email, songlinesandtanlines@gmail.com. That is indeed my podcast email. That goes to my old Buffett podcast, and I just didn't want to change it. I've got like 4 emails, and I'm like, I'm not putting another one in this world. So that's it. If you want to send me your list there, and maybe if I get some lists, I can read them off on here and do like a listeners, submitted list or something episode, and give off these lists that way. Maybe eventually I'll do like a live stream, and maybe I'll cover these in a live stream format. If there's ever any audience for a live stream, which I'm not sure there is just yet. But if you are inclined to say, hey, I wouldn't mind to see a live stream where we can kind of talk about it and review these and dig into the horror side on these albums, let me know. That'd be kind of fun to do in the future. All right. Be good. Take care. Go listen to some Iron Maiden today and just listen to it extremely loud, and make sure not only you're listening to it, but your neighbor and your neighbor next door is listening to it as well. Take care. Be good.